Well, guys, the trade line is come and gone, right? And Jerry did nothing. How do you feel about that? As far as me, I feel, I don't know. I really wanted some help for Jordan Lewis's. He's gone for the season. I think we needed some help back there more than just about anything. I would love to have gotten Chubb from the Broncos. I think he was worth giving up the picks. Jerry and them, they're always talking about how valuable these picks are. Number two's too high, things like that. Hell, we just cut Tristan Hill, who was a number 2 pick a few years ago. So I'd rather have something that I know is good right now. This looks like it could be one of the easiest routes to get into the big game this season from the NFC side anyway. Cooks. I kind of understand why not giving up so much for him. I don't know if he's that great. This would have been his 5th team, I believe. I'd like to have gotten him, don't get me wrong. But we shouldn't have needed a receiver at all. I'm going to bring it up again. Today's video is going to be the last time I'm going to bring up Amari Cooper. Because we wouldn't have even been talking about getting another receiver if we had Cooper here. Jerry Jones pisses me off to no end. That was a horrible move. I really would like to have gotten Chubb. I think that would really help. There's still a chance for Odell Beckham. I don't know if that's really going to come into play or not, but we'll see. I wouldn't be unhappy if we got him. I think he's a good player. It just depends on his injury. I'm not worried about locker room stuff. I think a lot of it in Cleveland had to do with Baker Mayfield. So I'd like to see him here. I don't know if that's really going to happen. Stephen Jones and Jerry Jones seem to be really cheap at the wrong times. Not getting these other players is still paying for the mistakes of the past is what it is. We are 6-2 right now, just like we were last season. Which is good to have some, showing that we can be good 2 seasons in a row. I think Mike McCarthy is going to get this team to the playoffs for the 2nd year in a row, which will be the first time that's been done since Chan Gailey. Can you believe that? Isn't that ridiculous? All this time has passed. Last season, the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes were down. Dallas went down to Kansas City and were actually favored to win over there. And they didn't score one single touchdown. Have we beaten a good team this season? A lot of Cowboys fans will tell you the Giants suck. But then when you say, have you beaten any good teams? They'll bring up the Giants. You can't have it both ways. I'm not totally sold on this team yet, just because of last season. And you may say, hey, that was last season. This is a different time now. Is it? Has it really been a different last season for nearly 30 freaking years? I kind of do. I know what they're talking about. I do kind of feel like it might be a little different. There's some openings there that weren't there in the past. There's no juggernaut in the NFC. Though our defense is great, but our biggest problem is stopping the run. And the 2 teams I believe that pose the biggest threat run the ball great. Having my choice, I'd rather play the Eagles than the 49ers. I think we match up better with the Eagles. Not to say we can't beat San Francisco. If we get to that point, we got to get there first. We can't just have a letdown. We got to beat some good teams. So bringing up that Chiefs game is because we're going to Green Bay after our bye. I don't want to talk too much about the game itself, but that has that same eerie similarity as that Chiefs game. And it's Aaron Rodgers, and it's still in Green Bay. Dak beat him as a rookie, but I don't believe he's beaten him since. So I'm not totally bought into this season, this team. we'll just have to. They'll have to really prove it. And saying that doesn't make me a bad Cowboys fan, and you shouldn't feel like you made to feel like you're a bad Cowboys fan either, because you're not. You're just sick and tired of the same crap year after year. So I am jaded. I'm a little, I'm skeptical. I don't buy any more Cowboy stuff. This hat was given to me a couple of years ago. Kermit here, he's wearing a Michael Irvin jersey that no longer fits me, unfortunately. Fits me like a wetsuit. That's how long it's been. I've got the vest you see me wear sometimes. Hold on, let me grab it. The vest, yes, this is a good vest. My niece gave it to me. The star, this is homemade. I took it off a worn out Cowboys cap. I cut it off and I velcroed it on there. See? I'm not spending money on that, on the stuff. All the stuff I have was either given to me or stuff I bought in the past. It's still around. And that doesn't make me a bad Cowboys fan. It makes me a realistic Cowboys fan. And I want to believe, I really do. But they're really going to have to prove it down the stretch here. This is where it starts to really count. I really do believe in our defense, though. I am going to, because they were good last year, and they're proving it this year. That part of the team, I do believe in. But it's the offense that's got to come together. There's a lot of people that are saying Dak's going to make these receivers better. He has yet to do that. But maybe this is the time. Dak's a hell of a player. He's a hell of a leader. I wish Romo would have been half the leader Dak was. I think Romo was a more talented quarterback, but the team plays for Dak. They love Dak. They'll follow him anywhere. I don't think Romo ever had that till it was too late in his career, where he finally was mature enough. Dak's had it since his rookie season. So till I see some wins against teams with winning records, good teams, I'm not going to be a believer. But don't get me wrong, Dallas is still my team. When Dak and Zeke were rookies, I thought that was going to be a great chance to maybe go to an NFC Championship game, because they were young. They didn't know any better. They weren't indoctrinated into this Jerry Jones culture of just being more hype, being more sizzle than steak. I hope they've gotten back to that. Last week looked really good. Of course, it was against a bad team. I know the Eagles feel good about what they're doing. They're also beating nothing but bad teams. They beat us with our backup, and we played them pretty well, pretty damn well. But give them credit. They're 7-0. They are beating the teams they should. So shout out to them. They're having a hell of a good season. So is Washington. They're getting it back together. So are the Giants. There's a lot of Zeke and Pollard talk right now. It's very reminiscent of Darren Sproles and Tomlinson in San Diego. You guys remember that? Where it looked like, to our eyes, Sproles was better by then. Tomlinson was at that point of his career. Tomlinson's an all-time great, don't get me wrong. And it was that same situation. Sproles went everywhere and always played outstanding. He was always an impact player. I'm not saying give Pollard the ball every single time, but I do think we're at that point. He needs to receive the majority of the carries. He's not as small as people think. But Zeke still has his purpose, and we do need him. And I hope he's healthy. And I do want to believe in this team. We'll talk Sunday. We'll see what the rest of the NFC East does. I know the Eagles won last night. They beat the Texans. Congrats. Texans look really good. Gave them a hell of a good game, too. I was surprised. Well, let's talk Sunday, and let's hope for the best. pray for the best, and like the X-Files, I want to believe. All right, guys, I'll talk to y'all Sunday.